Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Today, we'll be going through the UA Max, which is a preamp and a dual compressor. And it pretty much has three main compressors and a preamp built into it. So it has a 610 tube preamp, which is this big red button here. It also has a Dynacomp. It has a optical LA2A compressor in there, and it also has a FET 1176 compressor, which is a solid state type thing. So what you heard there in the beginning is just my bass with the Gensler Magellan pre on it, and running into the and then that's it for that in the first part. Then when I switched it on originally, it was just the LA2A optical compressor. I was just using it as for saturation though. I wasn't even using it for the compressor. So I was using it like just for the color basically. So I turned off the ratio, which allows you to do that for each of the and I played both of them and let you hear that one in 1176 compressors. Let me play a little bit through the Dynacomp as well, and when I in a second here. But right off the back, I'll tell you the Dynacomp is my least favorite. And I also have a little beef with the preamp that we'll talk about, but the overall pedal sounds good, built well. I will say this one, I don't know if it's just this unit, but this does get warm for some reason. Like it should be ice cold right now, because ain't like I'm using the proper power supply and everything, but it is getting But either way, it's got the big preamp. I'm not like a fan of that. Let's go ahead and hear a little bit of that. So we got you can't really turn these off. Well, before we even do that, let's get to this Dynacomp first. Turn this off. So the thing about this, the Dynacomp is a very simplistic compressor pedal, so it doesn't have a lot of the controls, like the attack and release. It doesn't utilize that. But the good thing is you always get two preamps, for each compressor, each side of the compressor, 1 and 2, you get a preamp, and you can set them differently. So you can have these running. This is a stereo in and out compressor, so you can have one compressor running one way and the other compressor running out the other output 2. So one running out of output 1, one running out of output 2. You can have stereo in, and you can have each compressor in series, one after the other. So compressor 1 running into compressor 2, or you can have them running parallel, which we talk about, one run out of 1, the other one out of 2. And then, the cool thing I do like about this pedal is it does sound good. Now, I will say it is a bit pricey. It's joint kind of expensive, but technically, by the way they have the other pedals priced, it's on par for what they normally would do. They run in $200 for just the 1176 and the LA2A compressors by themselves. So they can't give them to you for free. You know what I'm saying? But it is a little pricey. It costs more than the Empress, and the Empress is my favorite compressor. So, and it's analog, but I digress. Let's hear a little bit of this Dynacomp. So this compression knob here, let me see something. So when it's blinking like this, it means that feature is unavailable on that particular model. So that's blinking, that's blinking, that's blinking. So basically all of this is disabled on Dynacomp. Only thing you can pretty much do is set how much you're pushing into the compressor. So if I bring it all the way down, it won't hit it as hard, but I can push it further and further up into it. Super compressed on it. Super aggressive. That's mad aggressive. Lot more aggressive for my taste than what I would like. Only way I could use that is if I was running it parallel with a dry sound that I can mix the two. So You can run a little bit of that preamp with it. So, if that's the sound you're looking for right there, you know what I'm saying? It's an option. Why did this just turn up on me? What just got hot on me? What is that? Oh, that's that. So, yeah, pretty much. And then you got an output knob here, control your main output volume. But yeah, that's a simplistic compressor there. Maybe for some picking type stuff it'll work, but definitely not my favorite compressor to run on my bass here. So let's put on the LA2A. Mind you, all these are really good emulations of what it is they're trying to emulate. So it's not like there's anything wrong with what they did per se. It's just that that's not my favorite effect, a favorite compressor effect. That's all that is. If it was different, I'd say so. I'd tell you if this joint was garbage for $350. That is a bit pricey. I say they gotta bring that price down. Finally, I mean they gotta join the rest of the market. Like it need to be all analog for that price. You know what I'm saying? But it is still a good unit. So let's go and skip it down to this optical compressor. I'm just going to put these at noon. Right. Right. Oh, you got the control number 1 first off. All right, so as you can hear, even without the compressor, it adds some nice tone. So you could use this first channel if you wanted to, or the second channel, whichever one you wanted to, as a boost channel. Just turn off the ratio and you'll get a little bit of that tube sound in there. How warm that is. This is actually the cleanest I've ever gotten this preamp to go. This is why I love doing these videos for you guys. For some reason, stuff that don't be working out when I'm doing it by myself, and I be trying to demonstrate, oh, this is not working out for me. As soon as I get on video, the joint start working for me. So I think one thing that's getting in the way of this preamp when the actual ratio is on, because right now it sounds amazing. So if you just use that part like this, right, you can get as much saturation as you need from that. Right. But now you can clean it up. So it's almost like you're getting like double tube saturation you're getting saturation from the LA2A, then you're getting more saturation from the preamp. So the preamp, the red knob always runs before the compressor. So really it's that 610 tube preamp running into an LA2A with no ratio, which means it's off, so it's basically just coloring it, And as you can see, you only have a release on the LA2A as well. They do a good job of having these blink, so you don't have to try to remember if stuff is working on there. Like if it blinks like that when you're turning it, then it's pretty much does that knob doesn't work on that setting. But I actually really like this with its adder. So you can literally use this pedal by itself as, here's my bass dry with nothing. I just turn the other preamp off. Right? That's my bass dry. Here's my bass with this tube saturation on it by itself. And also on the app, you can change. Let me see. Pull it. Luckily, you can just do this through Bluetooth, and the changes cut, which is fire. You can just connect via Bluetooth. I don't even know if I had. Well, matter of fact, while I'm sitting here, I might as well go and download it. I don't even have it on this iPad. So I'm gonna put that UA control on this joint, right? UA, what is it? Control app, yep. They ain't got this joint in the app store. Gotta get it from the website, probably. Well, I'll do that another time. But in the app, you can also turn on the EQ. And I have an EQ. So if I do the same process to the second one, right? Turn the first one off, second one. I also get an EQ. If I just turn this knob on just a little, this red knob, if you turn it on just a little bit, it activates the EQ. Then if you turn it low, you start turning it more, it turns on the actual preamp and the EQ together. So that's a little tip. If you want just the EQ, just turn it on a little bit above on. Off rather. A little bit above off. All right. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like, and share. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And, ain't too many bass reviews of this pedal. So, if you're really into these individual compressors, you can get the individual UA 1176 pedal, which allows you to run two of those same 1176s. So you can do dual on those, but you don't have as many control, and you don't have all the combined compressors that they have on this, and you don't get that preamp. And like I said, connecting to the app with this pedal is amazing. I love the way it just does it through Bluetooth, so you don't have to really hassle with any wires or anything. You can just connect it via Bluetooth and do your thing with your EQ or your side chain, whatever you need. So you can clearly hear like they have different flavors to them. But when you add that preamp, it changes both of them. So you can clearly hear how the LA2A is a little more fatter, a little more rounder, have that tubular sound to it, versus the FET is that very solid state, direct type of sound. Lot less color on there. From that one, even with the preamp cranked like that. So my only thing, I need the gain or whatever it is that happens that when they turn on this ratio, when they do this update, UA, if you listen in Universal Audio, if you happen to come across this, can you turn whatever that thing is that makes it boost when you turn the ratio on is making bass stuff push too hard on the preamp, and I can't get those clean sounds like I was doing like this. When I turn on these ratios, see that jump in volume? See, now everything is distorting. See, if I do anything above like on my actual bass, like I have to turn it down so low, like just barely right above off on my bass to get it to be able to like play cleanly with it, and while it has the ratios on. So there's a way y'all can fix that gain, the extra gain that's happening there on the input side. It seems like it's happening. Maybe y'all can do that makeup gain on the back end where it's after it compressors, it does the makeup gain. Versus right now, it seems like it's on the input side. Yeah, it's definitely something on the input side because even as I'm cranking it here and they both up, because I have it so low on my bass, it's not like overdriving it. So, so maybe a little bit like that. And if you're going to squash it, put it around. If you want squashed around 12. So you can use that. That's the 11 the LA2A. That was the tube compressor. Here's the 1176. See, that's just the EQ right there. That's just the EQ on the preamp knob. And if I go further, then it'll kick on the actual preamp. One second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Had to kind of, you got kids. You already know how the game go. They always need something. And my kids will call and be like, "Yo, my man, what's up with this money?" You know what I'm saying? Y'all, those of you got kids, you know how I go. But yeah, so back to this pedal here. So as I'm using this pedal, I'm definitely, finding new tones. Like I love that nice, right? Without it, one is gonna give you a nice boost first off, but without it, right? And that's how low I have to have my bass in order for it to come through. So without distorting that preamp. That's what I'm saying. I need a little bit more headroom on there to fiddle around. But here's with it. So as you can see, all of those kind of sound, those ratios sound different. So you got really, it's very flexible. Changing the attack and everything else. The ratio, the release on at least on the 1176 compressor is very versatile in terms of. I mean the LA2A original model, which both of these are made by Universal Audio, but the original doesn't have an attack knob. That's why it doesn't. It's a fixed attack, so um, it's pretty much the same way. They just gave you the exact controls that are on the actual units themselves, whether it's the Dynacomp, the LA2A, or the 1176. So that's what they sound like individually, right? So I like this, just me, you know what I'm saying? I like to do a little saturation on the second one, and or like have either one be some saturation, either running into it or running after it. So let's make the first one. Let's make the first one in 1176, right? With the attack right there. Let's do a nice little 4 there. Let's bring that down so it's not pushing into it as much. Let's do a nice release like right there. That's actually no preamp right there. Well, yeah, let's warm the sound. Now, we're going to use the other one. So this is. Matter of fact, let's. No, no. All right. So that's the first one. And the second one, we're going to put on the LA2A. Just a little bit of this on there. Right. So the first one I have. Second one won't have any ratio. So we're pushing and pushing there. Bring this down for this one. Right. Bring this up as necessary. Let's go back to this first one. You see how long it takes to get back to green? That's letting you know how long it's taking to release. So say I have it all the way up there. Watch how long it stays with each of the colors. A lot longer. Then we put it there. So it's milliseconds difference, but it is different time frames. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I was doing it on that one. Wrong. And this release is opposite here. So when you hear this is longer, and then when you're already turned up, that's quicker. See, ba ba ba, ba ba bang. But when you come back all the way here, boop, boop, boop. See, it just takes longer. So let's see what that sounds like in action. So these attack knob and the release knob all the way to the right seems to be the quicker attack. Quicker attack gets right there. Slower attack. Okay. Sorry. So you can definitely, even from that, that's a nice tone. You know, if you wanted more booty on that, um, you know, you can add another EQ boost of six. I think so. Altogether, you can do plus 12 dB of boost, and altogether boost and cut, and altogether you can do a 12 dB boost on the treble as well and cut. So that's pretty good, you know. EQ wise, that'll get you. So you can EQ the first compressor, and you can EQ the second compressor separately. And you can have one doing the side chain thing and the other not. So that's actually a pretty warm sounding compressor there. It is without it. So you can definitely just use this joint as your preamp and your compressor and the EQ. All that. It'll color it. It has saturation and coloring to it, as well as it has individual um, options you can do. You can mix and match these any way you feel like it. You know, you can have the um, entities, the Dynacomp, the LA2A, or the 1176 running to any of those options. Or you can turn off the ratio on those and use just the coloring of the actual unit itself without the compression. So you got plenty of options with a unit like this. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe, like, and the share button. Share it with some of your friends that might like this type of stuff. Got plenty more coming, but this is definitely on the pricier side. I will say if you not itching for these exact compressors, that's gonna be a lot of money to spend on it. Like I said, you got the multi effects units like the Zoom B6 or even the Boss ME90 or whatever the new one is that's out. Um, that's pretty much close to that price. You know, the MS60B Plus is like 100 and some bucks, and it's going to have an 1176 and a DBX 160A rack compressor emulations on those, but they aren't as good as this. Like this. I'm not gonna lie, these are really good. They're nice and warm, even though the unit is actually getting warm itself, which is weird. I don't know about longevity if it's warming up like this just sitting on a desk with a proper power supply. Nothing wrong with that power supply. Um, so, um, sheesh, it's a good pedal. Definitely a good pedal, something to add to your arsenal if you want something for vocals or something that's very versatile, like for your vocals or your bass or your guitar, or you can run it on drums, overheads, whatever you need. You can run through there, and you'd have a nice sound. And it's something. It's something to while they have the plugins, it's something to having hardware with stuff that makes it sound a little better, a little warmer, a little bit more official. I don't know what it is. Plugins by themselves for me don't always sound super official like this does. Like this feels like you're working with a real unit, and maybe it's just because it has knobs, but it feels like you're working with the actual unit and doing something. So, um, excuse me. It's definitely that preamp. I was gonna be a little bit more tough on it, but it actually sounds good. You just got to keep your bass volumes really low. You know what I'm saying? So you got to remember that it's so much gain. Everything is adding. The preamp's adding gain. This compressor knob's adding gain. This can add gain. Like so, it's like you got to realize all your gain staging where you at and how you operating things. So that'll make a huge difference in the amount of compression. Even though it doesn't have all the individual ratios, you can still have it when it's in the yellow. It's like halfway. So that's like not really compressing it all the way down, just a little bit. And then when it gets into the red, it's like it's squashing it hard, like pushing down. So you just got to remember those few things, as well as when you turn the knobs, if you see the light flashing, that just means it's not available on that particular. This is hard to demonstrate, but yeah, you see it doing that. It just means it's not available on that particular unit, and I got to set the Dyna comp right now, so the attack is disabled. The only one the attack works for is the 1176. It's a little disappointing, but yeah, I think they did a great job overall. Very warm sounds, very versatile unit, and yeah, it can definitely get some work done. I see a lot of producers are kicking it, but I don't, I bought this unit so for my own purposes, so it's definitely a little bit overpriced, just a little bit. But if they could bring that price down, like I just got to be around like 220. I ain't gonna lie to you, they gotta drop that. But other than that, it's a good unit. All right, check out all my stuff on allbasscreations.bandcamp. All my music, I got my All Bass Creation album. I did that entirely with just my bass and effects, and that's 8 tracks on that. And then I also got additional 5 tracks on there that are my singles that have a full band, sound on them. It might be some of them I'm playing everything on, and some of those I had a drummer, a couple of those I had different drummers play. But go to all my social media at the Bassnagas, and make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share it with one of your friends. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I am the Bassnagas, Negus, and I'll hit you guys up next time. Oh, check out famemusic.org and support the kids. Peace.